ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਅੱਜ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਕ ਡਾਈਵਰਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਹਾਂ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਅਤੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਇਸ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਿਲਮ ਫੈਸਟੀਵਲ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਰਟਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟੀਵਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਮੁਲਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਬਟ ਮੋਰ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟਲੀ ਬਾਹਰਲੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ through the art of filmmaking so ਇਸੇ ਲਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ ਕੁਝ ਫਿਲਮ ਮੇਕਰਸ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਫੈਸਟੀਵਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਿਲਮਸ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾਂਗੀ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਖੂਬੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ they're one of my favorite filmmakers across the board ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰੋ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ ਹੋਈ ਟੀਮ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਯੰਗ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਆਫ ਫਿਲਮ ਮੇਕਰਸ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਟੀਵੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਹਰਬਲਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਨ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਹਰਬਲਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਏਕਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਤਨੀਸ਼ਾ ਕੌਰ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਕੀ ਵੀ ਟੀਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ ਹੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਟ ਇਟਸ ਸੋ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੂ ਹੈਵ ਯੂ ਗਾਇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਆਰ ਸਟੂਡੀਓਜ਼ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਧਾਈ ਦੇ ਪਾਤਰ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਬੇਵਤਨਾ not the only film at this film festival, but certainly one of the more powerful stories that's being told. Sab to pehle Harbaldeep Singh ji, ek bari fir congratulations. Jinna nu nahi pata Nishkam TV ki hai, kis tarah de projects kardi hai. I would love to get a little bit of a background about the group.
Ashuru karan to pehla JusPunjabi dekhne wale sare srotiyan nu pyar bhari sat shri akal. And thanks, Vikmita, for this opportunity to come to your beautiful studio and talk about Nishkam TV and some of the work produced using this platform. So Nishkam TV was started 7 years ago, back in 2016. And the concept was very simple. Our kids love watching films. They want to be YouTubers. So I thought at that time, why can't we leverage or channelize those skills to teach them lifelong skills? Mm-hmm. That was a simple thought, and we did our first camp. It was a 12-week filmmaking camp, and we taught them all filmmaking skills from writing from a script to do production, shooting, lighting, and then editing. And I learned a lot from that first camp because what I observed, a lot of kids learned a lot of soft skills, writing. So when they were writing the scripts, and I could see they were so passionate about their ideas because now this was coming naturally to them. So when you do something with passion, you will make it perfect. So that was a big learning, and I was observing them. And the second part was everybody had idea because they were split into different teams. So we had 20 students, and they were split into 4 different teams, 5 students each. And now everybody has an idea. But how do you do that ideation? And how do you do a conflict management? And these are the skills typically we attribute to, you are in a corporate world, you need that. But I think those are skills, if you can learn pretty early in your life, it can make you more successful.
And it's not just skills, right? Sanu khushi hundi hai is cheez nu vekhde hoye ki in skills di na ke sirf ek education to keh lo ek learning process assi vekh rahe hain but oda outcome, I mean oda jo result natija aage aa raha hai, that is creating a path for storytelling for our next generation, right? Ekam, I'd love to hear from you to see this group de vich you're one of the many young filmmakers jo Nishkam TV di kahaniyan and projects no ge lake you have several projects. In fact do tuhadi films is Sikh Arts and Film Foundation di is film festival de vich premiere kitiyan gayiyan. Ekam, how do you feel working on some of these projects, especially really powerful stories like Baywatana, jo ki Afghani Sikha di sangharsh us struggle bare duniya nu das rahi hai?
So it feels really good working on projects like these because these projects don't only tell the stories of these minorities that live in Afghanistan and in the Seva documentary, the work that was done by Sikhs, but it also kind of introduces like this topic to people. It introduces the selfless work that Sikhs have done, the struggles that these Afghan minorities had to go through, because many people haven't heard about these stories, although they have heard about stories about maybe like what's going on in the Ukraine, the problem that's going on there. So it feels really good to be able to finally tell these stories, because even us, we weren't really well educated about this topic before we created this documentary.
Right.
So that's another additional thing I learned. I learned about these struggles to make this documentary.
What a great answer. You know, Ekam and Harbaldeep ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਦੀ ਜੋ leadership ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ of course it's a community volunteer nonprofit, right? So it's a lot of parents, a lot of volunteers, and a lot of after school time jo dedicate karke eh projects de vich ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ Tanisha, I would love to hear a little bit about some of the challenges, right? Because ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੀ challenges ਹੋਣਗੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ homework ਤੁਹਾਡੀ college applications, you know, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, but your challenges are some of the same ones shared by filmmakers, you know, at the highest level. How do you guys overcome some of them?
So most of our challenges were like technical difficulties, which then we just took a minute and like fixed whatever is going on. We took a minute, we regrouped and decided if something wasn't working, and then we restart. Like, so if a set's not working, then we change set, or like if location's not working, we move to another location. But along with those difficulties, we also had school difficulties as well. Because we missed a lot of school, so getting like school homework done in between sets was another big thing for us. But basically just like time management and then overcoming difficulties, working as a team. Teamwork is a very big part of this project.
How do you feel like jo eh tuhada time dedicate ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ in projects ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, in films ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, which, you know, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਾਈਆਂ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹਨ, right? You're getting into all these festivals, you're getting worldwide recognition. How do you see your future being improved as a result of being associated with Nishkam TV? Ekam, I have the same question for you after as well.
I think just having people know that like we were part of this would be better. And not a lot of people do this, so it's definitely something separate. Like even like sick kids don't do this.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll like start now. But I guess just like having recognition for it and like, you know, it's just better that
Same
way.
question.
So yeah, the skills that we've learned from this could really help us in the future, because not only if we want to go into like filmmaking in college, but if we want to go into any other like subject, any other occupation, we can use the skills that we've learned from not just this documentary, but like what we've been learning at Nishkam TV for the past 7-8 years. Because we learned, as Tanisha was saying, the team building, cooperation, learning how to problem solve in like a matter of minutes, seconds, because on a set you really need to solve those problems just really fast.
Absolutely.
So,
Harbaldeep Singh ji, you know, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਜੋ ਬੱਚੇ ਜੋ team members ਹਮ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ TV ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ, you know, day to day ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ project related struggles ਹੈਗੀਆਂ from an organizational standpoint, right? Because ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ full time occupation ਹੈ, you have a full time day job. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਬਾਕੀ volunteers ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ, parents ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਲਈ side ਤੇ time ਕੱਢ ਕੇ personal resources ਕੱਢ ਕੇ in projects ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ. What are some of the big challenges you encounter? And ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ community ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਖੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ, because ਇਹ ਵੀ community ਦੇ projects and community stories ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ discussion ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ responsibility, ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵਰਗੀ organizations ਨੂੰ support ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ. So what are some of the challenges you encounter, and how can the community help?
This is a great question, and I can talk all day, but we don't have all day. So I think as a filmmaker, why I decided to tell 6 stories and how I can amplify that voice by training our youth. So that was the basic mission, because I always say this thing: history is written by victors. If we don't control our narrative, don't expect anybody to go and do a good job about that. So we need to take that narrative in our hands, which means we need to have a strong media presence. We have maybe 500,000 Sikhs in America, and then 1.5% of population in Canada is Sikhs now. So I always think Western Hemisphere, the people, because Punjab, India, Punjab to bahar bhi vasda hai. It's a huge diaspora, and if we have a media, we have a single voice, and we will tell our own narrative, our stories, because we know, everybody knows, not us. Sikhs have a very strong legacy, has a very rich history, Gurbani, Gurmat Sangeet. So we have all the components which makes a good film, a good documentary, a good storytelling. So I think from a community perspective, and I will say something which some of the people may not like it. So Gustaki maaf pehle hi hona tho. I think we have spent a lot of money building our gurdwaras. Aap ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਨਾ ਲਾ ਲਿਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਲਾ ਲਿਆ. Now it's the time ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਨੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਰਾਸ਼ਣਾ ਹੈ. And the only way we can do is by teaching them these skills. And we need resources. Filmmaking is a very expensive venture. But again, when I say expensive, it's a relative term. If you go to Hollywood, the Baywatana film we did, traveling to India, UK, Canada, within the US, it can easily cost you millions of dollars. And we have done for 1/3 the cost.
Wow.
Because we're non-profit. We're not for a commercial reason. We're not making money. The kids are learning and doing it. So if community can support us, and I'm not saying this is support us, there is now we have built credibility. I know people can't put money on a project which is pretty much as a vaporware, as a script. Now we have proved our documentary Seva is on PBS.
I know, it's so
And
amazing.
How many times a Sikh story is on PBS and
My
you watch
goodness.
it, and I will really ask our audience to watch the Seva. You will feel proud as a Sikh. क्योंकि ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਥਰੂਆਊਟ ਵਰਲਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾ ਰਿਹਾ. ਯੂ نو ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਹੋਇਆ, ਆਕਸੀਜਨ ਸਿਲੰਡਰ ਦੀ ਬਲੈਕ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਾਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ. Now that's a story which brings so much. I think it makes world a better place, if I have to say a few words.
Absolutely.
Because the seva, the selfless seva, everyone's sort to do it, but when they learn from each other, it's contagious. So I think ਜਿਹੜਾ selfless seva ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਹੈਗਾ through this narrative, but again, we would like our community to support, and not support only by their wallet, by going to Dishcom TV, YouTube
Watching
channel,
the films,
watching
telling
the
other
films.
people about the films, ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ, ਆਪਣੇ friends, family, neighbors, colleagues ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ for example PBS ਤੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਰੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਟੀਮ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਉਹ ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ. ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਟੀਮ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਬਾਅਦ.